You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets.
All right. Oh, I forgot to turn my light on, everybody. Oh, no. Here we go. Well, I am GreenBean. Welcome to this week's Thursday Thick of It. There it is. Now you can see me. I hope everybody's having a great week. We've been talking a little bit about one Zachariah. Hold on. Zachariah Wilson, who we like to call Zachy Poo. Even though we lost the game and Zach lost it for us in some respects, we're still feeling good. That's how low our bar has been and where we've been. It's like when you hand somebody who's starving and hasn't eaten in 3 weeks, you hand them a big bunch of dried cockroaches and they're like, that's us. Got any cheese for these cockroaches? Like that's where we are, man. So we're having a good week as far as Jets fans go. I am happy that you are here. I will say this. Our co-host, Gunny, is trying to get on. I saw him on a minute ago. Gunny's in Salem, and not like, Winston-Salem. He's in Salem, man, like where they did the witch trials. So we're going to see what's up with that when he hops on, I imagine. Gunny, if you can hear me, buddy, I'm here. We're here for you. Don't you worry about anything. And I want to just say what a good husband you are for hanging out with your amazing wife who wants to be in Salem. So that's beautiful. Now, I've been there too. Jet Freely's been there, right? I was there a couple years ago when we were on the coaster tour. I met most of you guys. I met most of you guys while on that coaster tour, right? We get new viewers all the time and everything. But I was on the road for 2 years. And, that's where my whole thing started. Like I literally did my first podcast in Fort Lauderdale on the side of my RV. As a matter of fact, I'll show you what it looked like. I'll give you a little tiny clip. This is podcast number 1. I was doing the Jetnation videos for a while, maybe a year or whatever it was. We went on the road and I was talking about doing a podcast but I wanted everything to be perfect. I didn't have the right lighting and I just kept delaying. And then one day I had it. I said, I'm never going to do it, man. I keep making excuses. I just grabbed my little microphone and my computer. I went outside. I didn't clean anything. You'll see there's RV hoses all over the place. And I just put it on a plastic table and recorded podcast number 1. So here's the clip so you can see it. This is where it all started, but we were on the road, man. So yeah, here we go. Check it out.
They were beating us up last week about being not good enough. We didn't deserve. We got this guy Shap saying that we don't deserve the number 1 pick. A team like the Jets doesn't deserve to be rewarded with a guy like Trevor Lawrence. This is the shit we hear. So we win a game. Everybody's supposed to be happy. What does the NFL media do? They laugh at us. You guys couldn't even do that. You can't even lose right. Yeah. It's a double-edged sword, and it cuts both ways for us. So, you.
Yeah, so F you. That's my podcast 1. I'm screw you. I was mad at the world, man. So, but anywho, yeah, so we were driving around the country. I was in Fort Lauderdale for that, but I made my way up to Massachusetts for Salem. Now, I don't want to blow up Gunny's spot or anything, but Gunny doesn't seem like that's really, that he's necessarily into the Salem thing. Now, I was into it. I wanted to go to Salem. I read a lot on it, actually, but right before we went, maybe, I don't know, a few months or so, I read The Crucible. If you guys ever read The Crucible, Great book, short. You can read it. Yeah, if you're really committed, you can read it in a day. Yeah, I mean, it's a little tiny. It looks like a pamphlet, but I think I read it in like a week, and to believe that stuff happened, man. That stuff whenever you think like, oh, that'll never happen, just know that shit happened, and it'll happen again if we're not careful, man. So be vigilant, everybody. But yeah, so Gunny will be here, I think. Is he texting me now? Yeah, hey, let's see if he makes it. Let's say hello to some people, but we do have our boy Finnegan in the background. He's going to help us out with some stats and whatever else that we have going on. I do, you know what, Finnegan, if you have the Zach versus Mahomes graphic, I would love that. I saw it around. I meant to, I had it anyway. If you can grab that, that'd be amazing to start. I want to talk Zach versus Mahomes. It's quite the amazing little thing. But we also have Jets Chaos in the house. Wait, let me see. Gunny's, look at this. Look at this text. GreenBean, I can see you. Can you see me? No, we don't see you, Gunny. I would have threw you up there already. I would have thrown you up on the screen. I wouldn't have threw you up. But yeah, he's trying to get on. He's got now, Gunny, you now have direct experience with my 2 years on the road. Remember my live streams, Jeremy, back then? Let me bring Jeremy on real quick. Hold on. Let me see. Jeremy, you remember my live streams back in the day? No matter, like, you never knew where I was. I was in Ohio, and it just be that's where Freeze Bean came from and all that shit. Remember that?
Dude, I remember because we used to talk about it. Like, you tell me, oh, I'm going to Ohio. And I remember like certain states were like, you would tell me this is going to be bad. Like, because from experience, you knew it's going to be rough, dude. It's going to be really rough. And I remember having to prepare for that and have your back. I remember we did a Patreon where I was all set up to run the Patreon for you because we knew that the internet would be bad.
Yeah. See, so Jeremy remembers, man. And you know what? Remember the very end for me. We didn't know that the road trip was going to end. It just kind of, everything changed over like a month period. Like the gas went from like, I think it was like 3.10 or whatever it was to like 6. And then we were heading to California and it was like $7.50 a gallon. So like a whole thing. And then my daughter and my son, they all sat me down and they were like, hey, we're kind of done. My son wanted to play high school ball. My daughter wanted, you know what I mean? The whole thing. So, but anyway, we were in Sedona. I didn't know it was the end, but it was like, it was free. It was the free agency period. Like I did those live streams in Sedona where we signed Lake and Tomlinson and re-signed Berrios and all that sort of stuff. But I used to have, my internet was so bad where I was, I had to drive 30 minutes to like the top. Like there was like, shopping centers and stuff like at the top of this, like I want to say mountain, but I had to drive 30 minutes before I could even get on with you guys. That's how bad it was. So Gunny's experiencing it right now, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Think he's going to make it?
It's the worst. He might. I mean, it depends. Like, my last resort is my phone. I pay for the service for it to be a hotspot.
Yeah.
So that's like my last straw fallback. Like when my internet is struggling, things aren't working, I go to the hotspot. I don't know if Gunny has that.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting though, too, is that it doesn't matter sometimes. So like, what we had to do when we were on the road, everybody, we had to, so my phone at the time was Verizon and I had a Verizon hotspot. So, and that's for gigs. Like we'd blow through gig. You have 1,000 gigs. I was like, yeah, I mean, a week in, I'm like out of gigs. You know what I mean? So I had to get unlimited and everything, but we had certain areas where only AT&T, like Verizon was nothing. You have to get AT&T. Then there were certain areas only T-Mobile. Like there's a big place in Orlando. Dude, AT&T and Verizon, you get 0 megabytes a second. And then for some reason, T-Mobile, 50. It's like, so yeah, I had to pay for all of them. So we would never know. And I had a Wii Boost. Like if I had service, I had the Wii Boost. I'd put the antenna on top of it. Dude, it was crazy, man.
I remember you'd say, wait, let me try this one. Wait. Let me try.
Yeah, let me try. Let me see if this one works. I miss those days. It's a crazy thing. There was like a rawness about those days. I get people say it all the time. You know, like I'll play something, whatever, or like the intro to the podcast. Like I just left it. I had so many people tell me I was going to change it, and so many people said, "Don't change it, man." Like they love the intro. They're all right, but people tell me all the time, like, "Oh, that reminds me of when you know." The good old days when you were on the road. We never knew where you were going to be.
Yeah, look, they were great times. And I also, I still will tell people that they should subscribe and check out the videos there. But I love the roller coaster channel. If you guys want to see, you guys out there, if you've never seen these videos on the coaster channel, and GreenBean will give you the details. His narration and like the way he narrates the videos and takes the clips and edits it are second to none, like professional editing. And it makes you feel like really like you're at the amusement park. Like you really get the feeling of the roller coaster. And it's very informational. If you like roller coasters at all, I think people really still be checking that channel out. And I miss the new content. I miss seeing
yeah.
videos.
Well, I'll tell you, thank you for saying that. He's talking about Full-Time Coaster Tour, which listen to this, everybody. And then we're gonna get into some Jets, I promise. But this is a nice hello to. I originally was like killing time to give Gunny some space to get on a little bit, but this is fun. This is a fun conversation. But when we left for the road, again, I was doing videos for Jetnation and I was doing the Talking Jets panel with Ryan and Matt. But Full-Time Coaster Tour is what I was doing. Like I thought that was the one, and I was hooking up with all kinds of coaster people, and I knew a lot of people in that realm. Like, but that's where I thought was going to hit. I just did GreenBean. Like I don't know, maybe it was O'Leary or somebody said, "Why don't you make your own channel, man? Like you're doing all these videos and everything. Make your own channel, you know?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And that was December 7th, 2020. I made my first video, but this was just to like have some fun. And then the coaster thing was the one I thought was going to take off. And then it was like all of a sudden I'm at 5,000 subs, 6,000 subs. And I'm like, the coaster thing never got past like 1,200. And I was like, me and my wife one day were like, well, maybe this is the one year. Cause I was like, those videos take hours to edit. Like you said, I was up all night doing those things.
Yeah.
And it was netting nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I would get like $4.80 at the end of the month.
But you know what?
So,
I'll tell you something. Because my brother says this to me about our food review channel. He's like, even if it never amounts to anything, we never make a dime on it. It's something you'll always have and your family will always have, right?
Yeah.
It's literally a journal of your life traveling around the country and experiencing all those different roller coasters. And it's pretty cool.
I want to show somebody. I want to show you guys real quick. While Gunny's trying to get on, man. He's trying. I want to say Jason Edwards, dude. So if you weren't there Tuesday night, he's saying it was epic, right? Now, it was epic. Is that happening now? Oh, he dropped it. Holy shit, Mooney, man. Hold on a second. The Chicago Bears, Justin Fields handing it off, getting corralled by the weird. What are we watching? Nebraska here? What's going? That's the Commanders. Wacky. But Jason Edwards won a jersey, Jeremy, and he won 2 tickets to our November 6th game, our big get-together on Monday night against the Chargers at Jet Life. So, dude, Jason Edwards crushed it, dude. Crushed.
That's awesome. I remember him winning the one thing. I didn't pick up on the fact that he won both. That's amazing. Did he win the full tickets? Like he gets to go on to the whole thing, the whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah, he gets a jersey and he won 2 tickets. So if he wants to bring a friend or if his wife or kids, whatever he wants, Jason is going to be able to do that. But yeah, he gets to pick an experience. He gets to come. You know what? I don't know if you know what? I got to look into that. You mean like the tailgate and everything? I would assume.
Like, I'm just assuming if it's the full experience, because I thought maybe I'm wrong. There's not a thing where you go to the field or near the field. It's just the game.
Yeah, he gets that. He gets that.
Okay.
Like Finnegan's coming, you're coming, so we'll do that. I don't know about the tailgate though, Jason Edwards. I got to look into that for you. I feel it's kind of douchey to give you 2 tickets and then not let you eat. I'm like, sorry, buddy. Say, man, no. These are for us.
Well, me and Dom C are gonna have backpacks full of food also. So I'll meet Jason Edwards and feed him.
Yeah, well, don't worry, Jason. Right, we got him. Jeremy usually has boxes or bags of bagels and shit because when you can't go to New York, he wants to stock up. He's got Taylor ham and bagels and lox.
It's very hard to catch me without a bag of bagels and cream cheese at the very least.
Yeah, I know. When Jeremy and I went to last year's game for opening day, he called me before and he's like, "Hey, just so you know, because we were staying like close to each other in Staten Island, we are going to drive in together, which we ended up doing." But Jeremy said, "Don't worry about it. Like, if you're hungry, I'm going to have a bag of bagels." I'm like, "In the car?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right, man. All right, fucking yeah. Okay, sounds like a plan, dude." Jeremy. But check it out. So this is what the full-time coaster tour. This is what it looks like, everybody. So this is my channel on YouTube here. I'll show a short clip. Hold on. This is I made the video. Look at this video, 26,000, Jeremy. This is my big one. 3 secret paths through Universal. I knew everything about Universal, so I'm a theme park nerd. You guys know. Look at this one. What happens when someone literally poops on a roller coaster? I waited for them to clean it. It was crazy. But let's look real quick. I'll show you the roughest coaster in the world. Here we go.
Bristol, Connecticut. There's a relatively obscure amusement park named Lake Compound.
Jeremy, this is the place where Milli Vanilli. Remember how Milli Vanilli got busted?
It happened on this stage here?
It happened at this place. Yeah, Lake Compounds in Connecticut. Little. So look at that beautiful coaster. So I'll show you real quick. Just to show you.
They completely retracted. They rebuilt it in 1985. So I couldn't wait to experience it for myself. And I'm going to let you see exactly how that went.
So I'll get it. Good.
Out here, I was thinking,
wait. Here we go. Just show like 20 seconds.
Awesome.
Now, right about here, I was thinking, what's everybody talking about? That first drop was beautiful, smooth, and fun. But little did I know what was about to ensue would be the worst ride probably of my life.
Watch this, Jeremy. This thing.
Oh my God!
My fucking neck. Yeah. So I'll show you. I'll do a little slow-mo action for you guys. Wait, let me see. Okay. Where is it? Where's the slow-mo? Oh, here it is. So this is, watch this little slow-mo. This, and it's funny because I would get into arguments with people. You're a crybaby, blah, blah. Guess what they're doing this year, Jeremy? They're redoing that coaster.
Imagine the back. So it did this thing where it picked you up and slammed you down 3 or 4 times. I'm going to let you see this in slow motion so you can really appreciate it.
Like, anywho, there it is. There it is, everybody.
I'll tell you, I already, just from the newer roller coasters, when I'm like the last couple of times I went to an amusement park, you know, when you get older, it beats the hell out of you.
Yeah. Well, Woody's right. Wooden old Woody's are my favorite coasters, right? Mm-hmm. And during that, like the second half of that tour, I realized like I'm passing the age where those are okay. Like every single one I got off of, I was like, oh my God, my back. Like, what happened to me?
Yeah, absolutely. They're painful, man. The cyclone hurt me. I was like, ow.
Oh, yeah. The Cyclone's good, man. That coaster is badass.
It's great. I'm just too fat. I needed to lose some weight. I was barely able to pull myself.
Yeah. Finnegan says the spaghetti in a bucket days. You remember that?
Yes.
That was in Sedona too, Finnegan. I remember I was like, dude, I went in, listen to this. I never showed you guys the videos. I went in there and I told them, I was like, hey man, I'm gonna do a whole expose on this place. And the guy brought me in the back, he showed me the fridge and how they make it, and I was like filming everything. And then I tasted it and I was like, ooh. Like, I can't possibly do an honest review on, dude. And let me tell you, there were people online, like, they're like, oh, you're filming this? I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, this is the best. You're going to love it. And, they're out in Arizona. Dude, I'm telling you, 2 bites. I was like, this is garbage. You know what I mean? Like, it was very reminiscent. You ever eat Chef Boyardee spaghetti?
That's probably the level of quality, right?
That was it was very close. And the meatballs, I said, you make your own meatballs? I said, no, we get them from Cisco truck. Remember high school cafeteria meatballs?
Yeah, that's from Cisco.
They're like kind of rubbery. That's what they were.
We had and when I lived in Santa Clara in the Bay Area, there was a place called Ravioli by the Bucket.
Ravioli by the Bucket, everybody.
It was called By the Bucket. Actually, it was called By the Bucket.
That's what this place is called.
The thing that they were known for there, though, was the ravioli. And I remember someone saying, you got to go there. It's great. You get this.
It's so good.
Right. And then that's when I knew I was in trouble as far as when I'm moving away from New York with Italian food. When I ate that and said, this is what they call good, I knew I was in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble, man. Remember in Goodfellas when he goes, at the end, he goes, I'm out here, and they think, spaghetti or fettuccine and marinara is egg noodles and ketchup.
Yeah.
That's, this crowd, it's like, right? Like, we know, we argue about it all the time. Taylor ham or pork roll, or what's the best pizza? But the truth is, anywhere in Connecticut, Jersey, New York, like, you're going to get really high, like, compared to everywhere else. It's light years different,
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into some Jets. Let's say hello to some people. Everybody's talking about, right? Gotham Green's here. Our only hope on Sundays. Jeremy's with me, right? We do a good job keeping you guys heads above water. Ryan and Dom C were with us this week. We had a good time on the stream. We'll be doing it again for the Denver game. Last year, for the Denver game, Jeremy, if you remember correctly, we had that Denver fan in the house. That's where, and it's made it. People were talking about it just last week. That's where DJ Reed completely flattened their wide receiver, and the guy went in the chat, the Denver fan, and said, that's excessive tackling. Where's the flag? Excessive tackling. This is the shit that the new age NFL fans. Look at that. Oh, man, big stuff. So the Bears are leading 7-0 on tonight's Thursday Night Football, everybody. But, yeah, so excessive tackling. So we'll be there for the Denver game. That's where I don't even want to talk about it. But we ended up winning the game, but we left there. We lost 2 major components to the season. But I'm not even going to talk about it. But let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Must-win game from David Ryan. Yeah, what's up, David? Good to see you.
Absolutely must win.
Twisted says, still on Talking Jets, huh? You too. Well, listen to this, Twisted. I want to announce to everybody that last night in our Wednesday night Beanbagger All 22 film breakdown with Dom C, right afterward, I ceremonially reapplied to YouTube with the Beanbaggers present. So we're at that time, everybody. Now YouTube is evaluating the channel, and they're going to make a determination if I deserve to be able to monetize my channel. It's a crazy thing, but I waited 3 months, and I reapplied last night. So wish me luck, everybody out there. Free green bean, right, everybody? Free green bean.
It's like one mistake, no warnings. Awful.
Yeah, it's the Beatles. I can't even listen to the Beatles anymore. I can't do it. I'm mad at them. They're one of my favorites of all time. I can't do it. Jeremy.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. All right, you know what I got to do? I got to switch this over here. I'm on the wrong page. That's what's going on. So Mojo brings up something. What's up, Mojo? Dick Butkus died, everybody. One of the greatest NFL football players of all time. I'll tell you guys a quick little blurb about Butkus. That you watch these old NFL films, things and everything. They, back in the day, we had what was his name? Sable. He would do the voice, so he would do these videos and everything. But
he was like the original voice of the NFL.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
but so he another play, they were doing a thing on Dick Butkus, and he was a linebacker for the Bears. And one of his good friends, best friend, let's say, he was on another team and he was playing Dick Butkus, and he said, like, this guy's my brother, like best man in his wedding, all those kinds of things. And I was laying on my back on the field, and he walked over me and stomped on my chest. And he said, after the game, he said, what the hell was that, man? He said, like, you're my enemy. During the, he said he was ruthless on the field. Like their friendships didn't exist for him on the field, which is like, now Dick Butkus precedes me, right? So I grew up as like Dick Butkus was a legend. So it's like this generation looking at maybe, Ray Lewis or something, it was just before my time, but I knew him. He was like a big legend then. Like it's like Walter Payton and all those guys. I got to watch Walter Payton, but you know what I mean? Like there with Jim Brown, so all those guys, they would talk about him a lot, like they do with Jimmy Johnson now and Deion Sanders and all that sort of shit. Dick Butkus was gone out of the league, but he was still around and he was like a big deal. You know what I mean? They were talking about him a lot. But yeah, so when they said that, like, dude, he was brutal. Even his best friend, when you were on the field, it didn't matter. You were his enemy. He literally stepped with cleats, stomped on his best friend's chest in the middle of the game. And afterwards just said, like, what do you mean? Like, we're on it. Fucking football game, which is why now when they we get beat and they're all laughing and they're trading jerseys, it rubs my generation the wrong way. You know what I mean? We're like, what is, we're all upset and they're having a good time. They're taking pictures with Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what is this? So that's when I start to realize, like, I can't allow myself to get as upset as I used to get, Jeremy. You know what I mean? Because they're not.
Right. It used to have so much more meaning. The intensity was outrageous back then, man. Like, not just him. He had Mike Ditka, as tight ends. I mean, they were just nasty. They
were brutal. Like, remember, like Mike Singletary? It's interesting because we're talking a lot about the Bears all this, and they're playing, so I think that's appropriate. But those guys, they were a different breed, man. They were a different breed of man, and they were a different breed of football player. And it's not to say right or wrong, right? Like now guys are like, hey, screw you. I'm going to preserve my career, man. Like if I twist my ankle, I'm getting off the field. When back in the day, Klecko is limping on the field. There's blood all over his pants. And he's like, I got to play for the team, and he's making a fat 40 grand a year. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you remember during Klecko's Hall of Fame speech, he brought up Aaron Donald's contract. He said, Aaron Donald makes $20.7 million a year. He said, my biggest year was his 0.7. He goes, that was my big contract year, $700,000. He goes, so I got the 0.7.
That was funny.
Yeah, Gunny's saying Gunny's doing Finnegan says Gunny's doing summoning circles. You know, it's interesting in Salem, man, where Gunny is right now. They still have there's a very famous well, where a lot of things happen. It's still there, but the well, it's covered up, and there's there's a restaurant and all their outside tables, Jeremy, and the well is just right there in the middle of all the tables. There's just a table over it, but it's there. So our tour, they walk by and there's somebody eating their friggin' Cobb salad, and you're like, oh, look at it, dude! Everybody's looking at it. Oh, it's a wacky place. Real Squirmy Weasel's going to Salem, and I highly recommend reading The Crucible, man, before you go. Squirmy Weasel. If Jeff Freely's been there, all right, we got to catch up a little bit here, though. I got to catch up because we're behind. We've been talking some crazy shit tonight. Jason Edwards checking back in. We will win. Can't wait for the playoffs. All right. Well, Finnegan pulled up some the stats. So we want to just start with this tonight. Dakota says 31-50. I see what you're saying. Jets are going to score 30. You know, Dakota, I get so nervous with this. You know, in my secret heart, my little secret chamber, this is the shit that I'm thinking too. I'm like, dude, we're going to drop 58 on these losers. But I can't allow anybody to, even though I just kind of did, but I'm afraid, Drug Monkey's putting it out there too. You know, I'm afraid, it's just with the season, right? All summer we toyed with, oh, good run. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that run. He's happy about it. It's we bought into the Aaron Rodgers, the number one defense, Garrett Wilson. We bought into it, and then we get 4 plays, and it's all Jets football again. So I'm scared, man. I'm scared to boast. I really am. But let's bring up Finnegan's got a little thing for us here. Finnegan's the man, everybody. Can I show all 22 clips? You know what, Finnegan, technically speaking, I can, but I'm afraid to do it. I'm afraid to do it. All right, well, here's one. So this is a big one. Now, you guys, if you're on Twitter and you're hanging around, you probably saw this stuff, but let's talk about it. So right here, did you guys see Zach Wilson of the New York Jets is the only opposing quarterback to have more completions, more passing yards, more touchdown passes, and fewer interceptions than Patrick Mahomes in a Mahomes start, college or pro, out of 127 total starts, including the postseason. So think about that, Jeremy. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it speaks to 2 things. It speaks to, one, obviously Zach Wilson had the best game of his career. Obviously, we all know that. But number 2, it also speaks to our defense. I mean, rather than just looking at it one-dimensionally as though Zach outplayed Mahomes, look at Mahomes' numbers. That's great defense. That means that after that 17 points, boy, did our defense settle down and figure it out.
Our defense hasn't given up a touchdown in the second half in 7 straight games, Jeremy.
I noticed that we get very good. We make really good adjustments. We get very good in the second half as far as giving up points.
Yeah. Now, has been mentioned, it would be really great if our defense could just clamp down from the word go, but it's really hard. So one of the things we talk about all the time, right? When you have the people that are defending Zach, which we all try to do, but there are some that stick into the defense mode longer than others, right? One of the things that said is, well, the defense puts him in a hole, and all right, and there's validity to that, but he still can't hit his screen, and you know what I mean? It's he can't find open guys, so we're all kind of jammed up, but you see it. We've talked about it a million times. Sure, the defense struggles to get off the field on 3rd down. They're very much a bend, don't break defense. But did you see the difference with our defense when Zach was able to actually play, get sustained drives, get points? They were coming on the field ferocious, because they know, like, holy shit, he's on. If we get the ball back, he might score. He might even get in the end zone. Like, oh my God. So there's a lot of that. And it definitely, they feed off each other. Like for all of 2022, or most of it anyway, into this season, it didn't matter what the defense did. When they gave the ball back, it was 3 plays and a punt, and they were back on the field. That's deflating. So you could see it, man. You could see the difference in the defense when we're able to score a couple points, and I think it makes a big difference, man.
Yeah, complimentary football is a big deal.
Yeah,
I mean, it's real. Yeah, so it's a real thing.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, rest in peace, Dick Butkus, one of our all-time greats.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilson's working on becoming an all-time great himself, man. So, who knows? The funny thing about it, Jeremy, now where do you stand on the like on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram? Believe me, I get all kinds of comments that to the tune of, you see, told you he was this, or are you on board with that it's like the game plan and everything else, like, we just needed to let Zach rip and all that, like, have a little patience, this is just the beginning? Or is this just, not rooting for him aside, we're all rooting for him because he's a Jets quarterback, we'd love to have a fun season, but do you think this is kind of time for boasting? Or is it like, hey, all right, that was great. He still fumbled the damn snap and we ended up losing at the end. Let's see if he can stack some games. Are you there? Or are you like, dude, clearly, this is what he can do. And if we let him play loose, this is what we're going to see. Where do you stand with all that?
Well, it's a tiny bit of both. I mean, like, part of me thinks he showed it that he's capable of doing it. And I think deep down, we all knew outside the mental part of the game that the physical talent was always there. We never denied that. Everybody knew the physical talent was there, the arm talent, all those things. Really, to be honest with you, I'm at the point where I'm just putting all my energy, rather than getting into the fight of, oh, it was one lucky game. Oh, he's back. This is who he's going to be. All my energy is focused on one thing, and I wish, and I almost put a Twitter at it, that I think everybody needs to be this way. We all need to unite, and rather than try to be right or be wrong and who's right and who knows what the future is going to bring, why don't we as Jet fans just root for it? Why can't we just get together and say together as one fan base, boy, I hope he could do that game after game.
Yeah.
I hope that's who he could really be.
I like it. I like it too. Like, why do we have to draw such firm conclusions one way or the other when something happens? It's like, clearly this was his best game. And even though he's had some exciting games, this was the first time we saw him look like a legitimate NFL quarterback. And dare I say, he was bordering on elite. Like those, dude, particularly the touchdown to Lazard, the touchdown to Uzoma, and the pass to Jeremy Ruckert. Those were, dude, elite.
Just the ball placement was just outrageous.
Ball placement. And the balls. Like, the thing is, I think one of Zach Wilson's biggest issues is his tentative nature, right? He's like, ugh, and he waits that split second. As soon as you see it, you got to zip it in there. That's what the Lazard touchdown, that doesn't happen in most Zach Wilson games, because the window was so tight. If he didn't let go of it at that exact second, dude, that the defender's all over that. Maybe even a pick. 1/2 second later, that's an interception at minimum blocked, right? So I think that's the thing we're missing. Zach's got to have his confidence. Now, Douglas McClure, our good friend, checks in. Thank you, Douglas. I appreciate the super chat. He says, definitely a mistake, but calling a 2nd and 9 midfield fumble with half the period remaining, the deciding factor of the game, is a touch of hyperbole. Plenty of other what-if moments. Oh, okay. Plenty of other what-if moments that could have changed the outcome. Absolutely. But here's the reason that it gets a little bit more oomph than maybe that situation would garner. That was the last time the Jets had the ball. So that's why it has that little extra something, Doug. But I'm with you. I mean, look, I'm a firm believer, and I know, like, I listened to Matt O'Leary's Just Jets today. I didn't finish it, but I was listening to it. And he says something to the degree of, I'm not on the whole, the fix is inside, he says. The fix is in. The NFL was going to guarantee that but he just thinks that the refs need to be held accountable for bad calls and that they missed the call on Jermaine Johnson. I am not there. And I, as much as I respect my boy Matt and love and all those things, I have nothing negative to say or throw toward Matt O'Leary, but I happen to disagree. I think this, Doug. I think that the NFL was absolutely going to maximize the potential earning capacity of the Swiftie thing. They know that, so, X amount of thousand young Swiftie girls came to that game to be with Taylor Swift. They were not going to allow them to come into that stadium, pay the parking pass, do the whole thing, and leave with a loss. They weren't going to do it. With whatever they could do to control it, they were going to do. That hold on Jermaine Johnson, like there were holds all over the place, right? And that the Jets got a call, that horse collar call, and we said it during the game, like, I don't know, man, that doesn't look like a fucking penalty to me. So we got our calls too, right? But those are not game-changing calls. 2nd and 22, or I'm sorry, 3rd and 22, I think it was, with Patrick Mahomes had no one to throw to. If that hold gets called, we're talking about 3rd and 32. That's a wrap. 99 out of 100 times. So they knew that they weren't going to call it, man. I'm telling you, that might be the worst hold I've ever seen. Jermaine Johnson's banging on the guy's helmet. Please, someone help me. Nobody can. And the ref's right there. He sees it. Don't tell me he missed it. What's he looking at? His fucking Apple Watch? I mean, what's he looking at? He's like, my wife sent me a funny video of, whatever. So not calling that was by design, in my opinion. And dude, the Sauce Gardner hold, whether it's a hold, we can talk about it all day long. I happen to think it's not, illegal contact, maybe something like that. He didn't redirect the wide receiver. His hand went across. They were bumping and everything. He didn't pull on him. It was just, but even if you call it, it's fine. Waiting until Michael Carter intercepted the ball to throw it, and there's that double pump that the referee does. He's like, I got to throw it. I'm supposed to do this. To me, it's undeniable. So those things, if they don't happen, sure, the Jets get the ball back and it's a whole different thing. But I think the fact that was Zach Wilson and our offense's last opportunity to have the ball, that's why so much emphasis is on it. But I am with you. What do you think about that, Jeremy? Are we putting too much emphasis on the fumble?
I agree with Douglas. The reality is, when you got to look at the whole picture, right? It's Sunday night against the world champions, and our young quarterback, who has been struggling to the point where most people wanted him benched, most people wanted him cut, was responsible for one turnover. One turnover. I can't put the game on him. It's like, there's no way, because there were so many other factors in that game. Turnovers happen. It's just part of football. It's not like he turned the ball over 3 times and that was the 3rd time and, oh my God, what the hell's going on here? You're talking about one turnover to the world champions on the biggest stage in football, or one of them, Sunday Night Football, right? With the whole Taylor Swift thing. I'm not going to sit there and hold Zach accountable. I'm going to hold accountable that, according to Sauce Gardner, and I believe him, that type of contact that they had, just like you said, whether it was holding or not, Sauce Gardner came out and said, look, that was going on all night. They didn't call that all night.
Yeah.
If they would have called that in the first quarter, the second quarter, they would have established that. But they didn't do that. And now at the end of the game, in such a decisive play, you're going to suddenly decide to throw the flag extremely late. To me, that's just very suspicious.
Suspicious. Right. It's a good way to say it. I'm not saying anything happened. Well, a little suspicious. That's what we're saying. A little bit suspicious.
Yeah.
I know. Infrared. That hold on Jermaine Johnson is, again, man, it's just one of the grossest things I've ever heard. And if you guys can see, I'll show you. Let me show you my reaction during it. So it wasn't like I waited till afterwards and said, oh yeah, no, I saw it, as many of us did. We saw it live, and it was gross. So let me see something here. Hold on. I gotta find this clip. It's right here. All right, here it is. So here's us reacting to the game. I can't show this. Hold on. Yeah, I can't show it. They're gonna get us in trouble. I can't do it. But anyway, I yelled when it was happening. What the F is that on Jermaine Johnson? I'm screaming and yelling because he was trapped. So Bryce Huff, I believe it was, is chasing him, and Jermaine Johnson. That was Jermaine Johnson's spot. He would have been right there. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes doesn't scamper freely for 22 yards because, the Jets aren't accounting for holds like that. He couldn't go anywhere. He had him like this, Jeremy. It was like, he's punching him and everything else. And Jermaine Johnson said afterward that, like, I already had that bullshit penalty on me. If I get another one, I'm out. You see how they hold us? They hold these players prisoner. It's very similar to the DJ Reed thing. Remember that, guys? When DJ Reed came flying in, dude, toward Mahomes, he was running full speed. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, DJ Reed plants Patrick Mahomes into the daisies, dude. That's your whole career. You wait for something like that. Star quarterback, completely open, his belly's exposed, he got the ball in his hand, and you're running full speed. Blah! And he pulled up and kind of sidestepped and the whole thing. And it's funny because even as it was happening in my head, I'm thinking, don't do it. Like, what happened to us?
Yeah, I almost thought the same thing. I was like, okay, because he's so afraid of the refs. Like, excessive tackling is going to be a real thing. That's what you're kind of thinking.
You know it, dude. So what would have happened is DJ Reed would have came in. Mahomes sees him. Mahomes would have dumped the ball real quick, and it would have been a personal foul on the court. You know it.
Yeah.
There's no question. And you got to commend DJ Reed for, overcoming that urge to completely decimate Patrick Mahomes. And it's just it's a sad thing what's happened to our game. Yeah. Honestly, from my perspective, and maybe I'm an old man. I've had people say to me, well, dude, what do you want? You want a helmet to helmet? And all? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Not helmet to helmet, but, I'd love a little hitting. I'd love to see a quarterback. He's a football player, and I understand that's where the big money is and the big names. I get it. But he's on the football field, man. And if there's a guy bearing down and he's stupid enough to be there, and you kill him. And, like in the quarterbacks in my era, they were tough enough to deal with it. Marino said it. Dude, I'd throw for 6,000 yards easy right now. You kidding me?
I mean, if you choose to hold on the ball as long as he did, if you're going to go outside the pocket, go out there and hold the ball that long, and then you're going to tell the defense, well, you have to be afraid we're going to throw a flag if you hit him. I mean, How much time do you got to give them? I mean, he's deciding he could throw that ball away at any time. So if Reed would have planted him, he's got no one to point to because he had tons of time to get rid of that ball. But I think DJ Reed did the right thing in the sense that you can't trust the refs, and he didn't want to give them a reason to float the flag.
Yeah, he was definitely going to get a call. You know, Jesse P brings up the Jamie and Sherwood literally got it. The guy grabbed his ankle. And I'm going to tell you something. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But, Joe Blewett put out a tweet where there was one play where every single offensive lineman was holding on the Chiefs. Every single one was holding. I think it might have been the Jamie and Sherwood trip play. Look at Fields. What's he doing? Holy shit, touchdown with the guy all over him. Look at Fields, huh? Fields getting
up.
comfy.
He woke up.
To DJ Moore. Make no mistake, DJ Moore is a stud.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Patriots been cheating for 25 years. Infrared, you got that right, dude. Holy cow. Really is something. All right, let's get to this one. Oh, we got a couple super chats. Lucky Leo checking in, fellow beanbagger. I don't know how you're doing in the beanbagger fantasy league this year. I know I lost this week. I got my ass kicked. And let me tell you something. They gave me like a 96% chance to win.
Wow.
And I fucking lost.
Wow.
Yeah. So Lucky Leo checking in. He says, so much for integrity. Very upsetting that it comes down to this. Flags on crucial plays. Swifty night happens. Honest competition, I guess, doesn't exist. It's a shame. It is. And let me tell you, this is an interesting one, Lucky Leo, because NFL fans from all walks of life, all different teams came out and said, except for Chiefs fans. I've been fighting with Chiefs fans all week. They're like, dude, that's ridiculous. Like, what is going? That was absurd. I've seen dozens of those comments. Like, that was bad. Even the announcers, were like, okay, and you don't see that every day, especially with the Jets. People love to just kick us and go, stop complaining, you losers. If you were winning games, you wouldn't have to. Only losers complain about flags, But it was definitely, again, there was a lot going on, but when the game comes down, like, they did not let that drive end. Like, we had them on 3rd and 22. We had them. They made that work. And then we intercepted the ball, man. That was ours. I'll tell you, Leo, it's bullshit. Douglas checking back in. Last time the Jets took out a quarterback, the league had to deal with Brady for over 20. I'm telling you. I know, maybe we shouldn't do it. Who knows who's waiting in the wings behind Patrick Mahomes?
You never
Look
know.
at this. Yeah, I don't know. Doug. And you know what? It's funny with that one because it essentially crushed the vision, the opinion of one of, if not our greatest linebacker ever. And it's such a shame. Such a shame what the overall opinion by Jets fans is of one Mo Lewis. I mean, he's the greatest. 12 straight years as a Jet, ignored in Pro Bowl and All-Pro until Parcells came, and then he's a 2-time All-Pro. It's just a shame. And again, Drew Bledsoe was, he was the first ever $100 million quarterback that was on the 9/11 game. It was a big deal. Every single Jets fan thought that was an amazing hit. That was a great play. And then just because Tom Brady was born, everybody looks back and hates Mo Lewis. It fucking breaks my heart, man.
It's so stupid because it shouldn't be looked upon as a Mo Lewis thing. If you want to be silly about it in a way, be superstitious and say it was just the Jets thing. Like, just the Jets' luck. They make a great play, and then it burns Tom Brady. But don't look at the individual who made the great play. Look at it as a Jets thing, not a Mo Lewis thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do. Mo Lewis was amazing. I mean, you guys don't, if you're too young to remember, you have to consider too, like Mo Lewis, who won Rookie of the Year, third round pick. He was ignored. Like, he had better stats than like Derek Thomas and Junior Seau some years, but they were the names. They were just locks. They were just locks to get in. But like Mo Lewis was on a team that consistently changed the defense 4-3, 3-4. They wanted him to be coverage. They want him to be a pass rusher. And he thrived in all of it. It didn't matter. It was very much Klecko-esque. They're like, all right, well, we know you've been pass rushing as an example. You got 10 sacks last year. Now we want you to be a coverage. And he get 4 or 5 picks. It's like the guy was just so good. When it was him, Marvin Jones, and Bobby Houston, dude. And then it was him, Brian Cox, and Marvin Jones. Like, dude, they were vicious, man. They were thumping people, man. And they made us proud. It's a shame. Jordan Victor checking in. I want Simeon active Sunday. Give Zach. I agree. Look, man, we all talk about lots of reasons why Zach kind of came out of his shell. I saw a comment. I'm sorry, I meant to put it up, but somebody said it has nothing to do with the scheme. Zach Wilson took off that stupid headband and the blood finally went to his friggin' head. And hey, don't discount anything, right? But I think so. Number one, Aaron Rodgers was there. I do think Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson, there's a comfort, there's a, support and everything. And Aaron Rodgers said, look, I didn't go give him a pep talk or anything. It's not like I changed anything with him, but just being there, I think, is important. But the other thing I really feel that a lot of people aren't even looking at, while it's not, we didn't bring in, Wentz or Brissett, some like really established, but it's only Trevor Siemian, but it's still not Tim Boyle. And Zach Wilson saw the writing on the wall, in my opinion. Like, all right, this is real now. Like when Robert Saleh says, Zach gives us the best chance to win. I talked about it for weeks. He's not necessarily saying I love Zach. He's just saying, dude, just so you know, there's nobody else here. There's no other quarter that when you compare Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson gives us the best chance to win. So, and that doesn't mean he doesn't support him. I'm just saying, like, there's nobody else here, but bringing on Simeon, again, unspectacular, is still a capable NFL quarterback, right? He's older, but I think Zach looked at that and go, okay, well, my clock is officially ticking. It's not just me and Tim Boyle anymore, and I think that can't be underappreciated as well. It's like he knows, Jordan. Gotham Green, thank you for the super chat. There's no comment there, but I appreciate it nonetheless. What else we got? What did Gotham? Oh, here's something. So here's one from you. Is that the same guy? Yeah, it is. Jets weren't going to win that game with Rodgers. I don't know. I don't agree, dude. We lost by 3 points. Now, technically speaking, they could have scored a touchdown at the end there. They chose not to, which is a smart move. You don't put it back in our hands because then we can score and then onside kick. It's smart. We had a minute and a half left. So, they could have, though. But think about this. If we intercept the ball, we're down by 3, right? We can kick a field goal. We can take the lead. There's all kinds of shit. So you got to look at it for what it was. The Jets held the Kansas City Chiefs to 23 points, 17 of which were in the first quarter, right? I think 14, at least in the first half. So they only scored, 6 points in the second half. No touchdowns.
Incredible. It's
incredible with the Chiefs. And they're not a team to kind of pull off the gas at 17. They're going to drive it home, man. They're going to get 30 if, they have no problem dropping 30 on you. So, yeah. I mean, dude, it was a 3-point game and we missed a field goal. So we're talking tie game action. I think, I don't know, Gotham. I think that we totally could have won that game if those bullshit calls weren't. If they let him play and they called what was called, that Jermaine Johnson shit needed to be called. All right, the Sherwood trip, all the other things, leave it all on the field. The Jermaine Johnson one needed to be called and the interception needed to be ours. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
The one thing I think Gotham may have meant when he said this. It's possible. I don't know. I'll have to clarify. Is he might be saying the refs weren't going to let us win no matter who was quarterback.
Ah, okay.
Possible. He
all right.
possibly did that.
If that's where Gotham's going, then I don't necessarily disagree. It's good distinction, Jeremy. Infrared says, imagine Mo Lewis on our defense today. Even at this age, Infrared, I think he'd be pretty good. Look at that. Oh, you suck, dude. You had a total pick. That guy sucks. You got to catch it. What is it? I catch that. Don't tell me I don't catch that. You know?
It's just hard to understand. There's so many, like in the parking lot, right? There's hundreds of Jet fans at the tailgates having a catch, throwing 30, 40-yard passes to each other, catching the ball. And then we watch some of these professionals it's
in their hands and they drop it. I mean, and I know I've never played a game, admittedly, I've never played a game with 80,000 people there watching. So there's that. Lights, TV, I get it.
Yeah.
But that's why you make, 8 million a year.
One of my favorite plays from Zach Wilson on Sunday night, I don't think some people are talking about it, but it may have been a top 3 play in the game, but we don't talk about it as much because Michael Carter dropped the ball. But that pass he made to Michael Carter after that scramble, if Michael Carter makes that catch, that might be the highlight of the game. If you really look at what Zach did on that play, it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Hey, Finnegan, you feel like digging up some Mo Lewis stats, maybe Pro Football Reference? Thank you. I want to show you guys what we're talking about. We could even compare it to like Junior Seau. Another one is Kyle Clifton. He led the league in tackles 3 separate times, not 1 Pro Bowl. How the freak does that happen,
Jets.
It's like it's a crazy thing. Mo Green says anyone named Mo is good in my book. K Yeti says Mo Lewis is the best linebacker I've ever seen in my lifetime. I homer consistently, but he was awesome. Dude, it's the truth. Mo Lewis was exceptional. And it's a shame, there's obviously, we're talking, it's a while ago. He left in 2000, I believe. So we got 23 years of Jets fandom that they don't know what he is. You know what I mean? Let's take a quick look here. All right, here's Mo Lewis, everybody. And if you don't mind, Finnegan, grab me Junior Seau, who is, God rest his soul, and we're not taking away how much of a stud muffin he was. He was vicious. He was brutal. And dare I say, maybe a better linebacker for what he did. Mo Lewis was more versatile. But let's take a look here. And I'll show you guys what we're talking about. Let me get this comment off real quick. Hold on. All right, hold on. All right, Mo Lewis, Morris Clyde Lewis. All right, 258 pounds, 6'3". From Atlanta, Georgia. He's currently 53 years old, and he's going to be 54 on October 21st. We should do something.
Wow, he's only a year older than me.
Look at this. He played 200 games, 52 and a half sacks, 1,011 tackles. So look, he didn't win Rookie of the Year, but he was in the voting. That's what it was. So look at this. So you see this, guys, right here, 1998. So look, this guy was ignored, right? Among the best in the league, ignored. Then Parcells comes, basically says to the NFL, stop ignoring this guy. You know what I mean? So look, Pro Bowl, All Pro, right? Pro Bowl, All Pro, Pro Bowl. You see this? This is the Parcells years.
Yep.
Then we go into Al Groh and Herm and all that shit, and they forget about him again. So it was all Parcells. But I want to show you. This is what I want to show you. So you got left linebacker, right? So he's playing weak side, depending, whatever. And he's playing strong side. Then he's playing middle. And he's back to the strong side. Then he's back to the outside linebacker. We switched to 3-4. So he's outside linebacker here. And then he's, you know what I mean? Like, look at this. All right. Now I want to show you guys something else. Look at this. So he was with us for 12 years. 16 games.
Yeah, look at
16 games.
The availability.
16 games. 16 games. 16 games. So he gets injured here. He plays 9 games. 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16. His last year, 15. So in last year, he was kind of, I don't remember the specifics, but he was older. So we were folding in some new guys. I think it was Victor Hobson, but I might have that wrong. But look at this. So here we go. So here they're asking him to be covered. He's got 4 interceptions for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns, Jeremy.
Jeez.
At the same time, 130 tackles, 103 of which were solo, plus 6 sacks. So he gets 6 sacks, 4 picks for 2 touchdowns, 130 tackles, no Pro Bowl. Plus he gets a fumble recovery, no Pro Bowl for him. Nothing. So then you get, where's this? Let me show you something. Then you go down here. So they ask him to switch up a little bit. He's playing outside linebacker. He's a pass rusher now. 8 sacks, 7 sacks, 5 sacks, 10 sacks. You see it?
Yeah. Look at that.
See what I mean? And I'm telling you, there's no coincidence. Parcells comes in 1997, and then in 98, 99, and 2000. 2000 was the grow year, so we had a little bit of, bleed over from Parcells coaching. He was still our president, but Parcells was here. So all of a sudden, Mo Lewis, he's a Pro Bowler and 3 years of Pro Bowl and 2 years of All-Pro.
Yeah.
Wait, you think that's a fucking anomaly? All of a sudden, in year 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of a sudden, in year 8, Mo Lewis decides I'm going to get my head out of my ass? No. Let me see what Finnegan's got here. Let's. Did you get Junior Seau? All right, so let's do this. Now I'm going to talk to you, Junior Seau. Now, I want to make sure I state this. I'm not saying Junior Seau isn't a stud. He was the best many years. But look at the difference. Okay, you see all this amazing stats by today's standards. You know what I mean? This guy is perennial. All right, so you look at this. Look at the difference. But it's just a vacant about his accolades. Vacant. Nothing there. Watch this. Look at the difference. Look at this, Jeremy. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah, what's
All Pro, Pro Bowl, All Pro, 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 Pro Bowl, Pro Bowl. See it?
Yeah.
Now let's point something out. So what year? Hold on a second. 1994. Let's look at 1994. So 1994, Junior Seau has 155 tackles, 5 sacks, 0 interceptions. He's got a forced fumble and 3 fumble recoveries. So again, not slouch, but he's all pro, 5th in the defensive player of the year, but he's first team all pro and Pro Bowl. Mo Lewis in 1994 has 4 interceptions for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 forced fumbles. Now, Junior Seau has 4, but no picks, no touchdowns.
Right.
Junior Seau has 155 tackles. Mo Lewis has 130. Junior Seau has 5.5 sacks. Mo Lewis has 6. So you're going to tell me Mo Lewis isn't a second team Pro Bowl? And fucking Junior Seau in 1994, All Pro, Defensive Player of the Year voting, Pro Bowl, Mo Lewis, nothing.
Butkus.
So this is what we're talking about, man. Like if Mo Lewis played on the Dallas Cowboys, I say this all the time with Klecko. If Klecko in the 70s, in the 80s, if he was playing on the Steelers, the Redskins back then, dude, he's a first ballot. We had to scream and bitch and cry for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Let's look at another year. I want to take a year where Mo Lewis had 10 sacks. So let's see. 10 sacks, that's the year 2000. Let's see how Junior Seau did in 2000. So here it is. All right, let me see here. Oh, he has 2 interceptions that year, 3.5 sacks, 123 tackles. Mo Lewis that year, 10 sacks, 1 interception, and 89 tackles. So less tackles, but you see it, like a guy with 10 sacks from the linebacker position, in addition to having interceptions. Like, again, it's just a crazy thing that you see. Like, and then you had Derek Thomas. So it was Junior Seau and Derek Thomas, both of whom are deceased. So God rest their soul, and great players, man, no doubt. But there were years, every year Mo Lewis was, depending on where they had him, 3-4 outside linebacker, 4-3 middle linebacker, weak side, strong side. They had them all over the place. And these guys are playing their position. Like Junior Seau was a middle linebacker his whole career. Derek Thomas was like, look, Junior Seau. Look, it's all the same. See? And then over here, they start changing a little bit toward the end of his career. But like, it was like 1 year he's competing with Derek Thomas, and next, didn't matter. They didn't even consider him. So it's bullshit, man. Thank you, Finnegan.
Yep.
Fucking Tony Alexio. We love you, buddy. Tony Alexio is the shit, by the way.
He's an awesome guy. You know, he came onto the show once.
No.
I'm one of I was I had to run downstairs and help my wife, and I was like, I didn't want to just leave a blank screen. So I said, somebody please, and I put the link in the chat, and in comes Tony and makes his first public appearance ever. And I said, hey, just talk about why you're mad at Coach Salem. And I walked away, and he rambled on for like a good 5 minutes.
That's great.
He's a great guy. It's great.
Yeah, Tony's the goods, man. So right, Jeff Freely talking about Derek Thomas. Exactly right. So those were the 2 guys that, like, every year. Let's take a look at Derek Thomas real quick. I got Junior Seau up here, so I'll just do this real quick. How do you spell?
I met both of these guys. I met Junior Seau and Derek Thomas in my lifetime, so it's kind of crazy.
How the hell you spell Derek? There it is. D-I. All right. So Derek Thomas is another one. I mean, great player, but again, look at the accolades, dude. Every year, All Pro, All Pro, All Pro, Pro Bowl, All Pro, All Pro, Pro Bowl, All Pro, Pro Bowl. Now let's look at 1994. So 1994, when Mo Lewis had 4 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, whatever it was, 6 sacks. Derek Thomas didn't have any interceptions. Same forced fumbles. He had 11 sacks, so there's that, right? Mo Lewis had 130 tackles. Derek Thomas had 71.
That's
like
60 tackles.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had more sacks, and again, you don't take it away from him, right? Like Derek Thomas was a game wrecker.
Yeah.
But you look at the year. Fucking Junior Seau and Derek Thomas are all pro 1 and 2, and Mo Lewis doesn't even get a nod.
Right.
And the truth is he's in the middle there, but he's better, in my opinion, than both in 1994. But he's a Jet. 1994. What was the Jets' record in 1994? Let's see.
Oh, it's got to be bad. 5-11, probably.
Yeah. Let's see. 1994.
12 even.
Let's see what we did. Pete Carroll. Oh, that was brutal.
7-9 then?
Yep, 7-9. So that was the year, 5th in the AFC East, 5th back then, because we still had the Colts in here. That was the year the fake spike, man. 6-10, Jeremy. 6-10.
So I remember something like that. Remember the Pete Carroll when he did this? That choke sign to the
choke. Yeah. I remember the choke. Oh, yeah. Pete Carroll, the youngest coach in the NFL at that time. Now he's 96 years old. But
he's still jumping
dude,
around.
he's amazing, dude. I mean, come on. Look, no matter who has Pete Carroll as a coach, you'd be proud to have him as a coach. He's a good coach. He knows how to get the best out of his players, and he's running around, and everybody loves him, and he's jumping up and down, and he's staying young because of that. You know it.
That's why
here I am. I'm 50, and I feel like I'm dying.
I guess that's why you can't give up on Saleh too soon, because Pete Carroll gave up on him, and defensive coordinator for a couple of years, went to college football.
Yeah. Well, listen, Pete Carroll. See, here's the thing with Pete Carroll, everybody, is that we had the Bruce Coslett regime, right? We got Bruce Coslett. He was the offensive coordinator of the Super Bowl losing Bengals, right? So we bring him over. We were lackluster. So what Leon Hess really did was he said, and Steinberg, I think it was still at the time. He didn't pass away yet. So it was really Steinberg. Dick Steinberg was our GM. He basically said, like, this coaching staff is good. This team is good. Bruce Coslett's the problem. So he got rid of Bruce Coslett, elevated Pete Carroll, and we were playing for first place. We were 6-4, playing the Miami Dolphins. I was at the game. We were up like 24-3 or some shit like that in the fourth quarter. Did I remember? We were literally dancing in the stands. We were doing this, Jeremy. Fucking squish the fish. Squish the fish. That's what we were doing.
Jinx.
We were laughing. They were playing, money. That's what that was going on in the stadium. Fourth quarter, 24-6.
It was a party.
And all of a sudden, Marino and Ingram and Super Duper and all these losers and Clayton. And that was the fake spike game on a rookie Aaron Glenn. And we literally, from that game, we were playing for first place.
Up 20
in the AFC East. We lost every game that year. Pete Carroll was fired. We hired Rich Kotite. And we won 4 games over the next 2 years. So playing for first place, we lose the fake spike. From that game, we won 4 games over 2.5 seasons until Parcells.
And Kotite had just lost 7 in a row coaching the Eagles when we hired him.
That's right. Leon Hess stepped in.
That's the worst hire ever.
Oh my God. Leon Hess literally stepped in, overruled the general, said, that's the guy I want. When they interviewed Leon Hess, he said, hey, I'm 80-something years old, and I want some damn enjoyment out of this team before I fucking die. That's like what he said. I'm not even kidding. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. He said, I want some enjoyment from this team too. It's my team. I can do what I want. Fucking hired Rich Kotite.
So bad. Those are so bad. Those years were bad.
It's the worst.
Rough. The only thing Kotite did, he gave us one gift. He did one thing. Everybody manages to do at least one thing. He gave us Wayne Corbett.
Who, Kotite? He did.
He did.
Remember so Kotite actually resigned because he, and I think it was the right thing. He said, I didn't want to put Leon Hess in that position either. I know what's going on here. I resigned. And Corbett's last catch during the Kotite era, he ran up to Kotite and gave him the ball, and he said, thank you. He wouldn't have had a career without Kotite. I mean, maybe he would have, but yeah. Anyway, it was tough times, man. Tough times. So Saleh, the thing is with Carroll, so Pete Carroll went after that, was a defensive coordinator for a couple of years, maybe 2 years. Then when we hired Parcells from the Pats, they hired Pete Carroll as their head coach. So he had another stint as head coach for 3 years. I think he was with the Pats. Mm-hmm. Then he went to USC for 10 years or whatever it was. And then he came back to the NFL. So the whole thing with Saleh, Jeremy, are you willing to wait 2 plus 3? No. That's 5 plus 10, 15 years. He had 15 more years to simmer before he came back to the NFL.
It's the same thing with Geno Smith.
It's the same thing, buddy. It's funny that they're together.
Well, we were going to wait all those years for Geno Smith. So,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Mr. Green Jean says JD haters need to look at Schneider in Seattle. Tremendous drafts year after year, but he's also the guy that did the Jamal Adams trades. You know, GM, right? And that's the thing. You have to compare it, right? Green Jeans. It's like, look at where we were for a decade before Joe Douglas. We couldn't get out of clown show. And now, even with losing the marquee quarterback, we're still kicking, scratching, clawing like the team's fighting. And again, like I say, we're not talking about Kufasi and Jordan Jenkins running around. Like, dude, we have studs running around our field.
Yeah.
You know, and it's again, if it doesn't win, it's all about wins, right? So with 4 years in, you can't get a winning season. There's something up. But I think it all backs up to the quarterback, which is his. So I don't know. But again, there's no comparison for me. I mean, I'm hoping JD's here forever.
Yeah.
I just want to have, you know how some teams, they just have a GM. It's forever. I'm sick of fucking firing GMs.
Well, yeah, especially after what we've been through. I mean, I'm imagining a lot of people that want JD gone or don't like him haven't been Jet fans as long as we have. Because if you look in I mean, there's no way you could be a Jet fan for 40 plus years and not appreciate what JD has done.
Yeah.
When have we ever had this many stars at this level at one time? When you talk about guys like Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, JJ, now Joe Tippmann, by the way, AVT.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are all very special. I mean, we've never had anything like this. It's out of control.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's true.
Yeah.
Like last year, again, we talk about it all the time. If we would have just had middling quarterback play, and you saw it when Mike White came in or whatever, dude, the team was like unbelievable.
You saw it Sunday night. We were toe to toe with the world champions. As soon as Zach played well, and look what we did.
And think about this. When you start talking about trap game and all that kind of shit, don't forget, dude, they had the energy of the Taylor Swift train on their side as well. And it wasn't like we lucked out, dude. Zach looked precise. The team was playing hard. It was unbelievable. That's our potential. That's our true potential. And that's what we expected this year. If we had Aaron Rodgers, like the defense was going to play like that, the weapons that are around, whether it's Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Lazard, whatever it is, you know, like we have the horses. It's just about that quarterback. And the offensive line, like Dwayne Brown needed to go. He's done. He's done. His career's done. Like you said, Tippmann, Becton, AVT, those are all Joe Douglas draft picks, man.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Lakin and Tony Alexio. And we're going to get out of here early tonight, I think, Jeremy. GreenBean and Chaos like Breece Hall and Izzy. Who's Izzy, though, Tony? That's what I got to
Anaconda.
I mean, which one of us?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm Israel for obvious reasons.
Yeah. All right, Benny. I mean, come on. The Chiefs ain't that good this year. Like, give me a fucking break. I mean, look. There is an argument, right? They don't have Tyreek Hill, but they didn't have Tyreek Hill last year. They won the Super Bowl. So, like, what is it? What do you mean they're not that good? They won the Super Bowl, bro.
Yeah, I know.
JD not as good as Dick Steinberg? Maybe not. Dick Steinberg made some silly-ass moves, though, too, man. Don't forget about Blair Thomas, and there are many others. But Dick Steinberg built some good teams. He did.
Yeah, I didn't say we didn't have any good GMs. But
yeah, that's what I say all the time.
It's just not common. It's just not common.
No, I say all the time. Yeah, JD's the best GM we've had since Dick Steinberg, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean,
Dick Steinberg wasn't great. He was good, very good, but he wasn't like elite, you know?
How could anybody want us to have to be back in that market looking for a GM? And it's what a horrible thing for an organization. It kills us every time.
It's the worst. Clearly, Joe Douglas knows what he's doing. Now, he makes mistakes, no doubt. Look at Justin Fields. Another dude. They're crushing the Commanders, man. Crushing them.
Wow.
It's going to be 27-3. They're going to be like this, Mone, Mone, and you'll see what's going on. As soon as you take the foot off the gas, man.
Yeah. That's what happened to Cleveland against us last year.
Yeah, they were that coach brought his kids out on the sideline and all that shit.
Some of the players were like with the fans already, like jumping in the first row.
Yeah, I know. KC just went to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them. Yeah, they're not good. What are they? That was last year. Yeah, we're 4 games into this year, dude. You know what I mean? Like, they're still the favorite.
I don't understand why be so negative. Like, why not just root for your team? I just don't understand.
Because because he doesn't like Joe Douglas. I mean, I tell you what, I say it all the time. If you're looking at the end result, then yeah, I mean, you have an argument. The thing is, you're discounting that his first 2 years were tearing this team down, getting rid of all the pillars, Leo, Marcus May, Jamal Adams, Avery Williamson, obviously, what the hell's the other guy? We got Jamal Adams, Leo, Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? Like all these guys, he had to get rid of all these guys. It's a whole thing, man. Like you're not gonna win in teardown. It's just real. He had to get rid of fucking Adam Gase. It's like a whole thing. Yeah. Mike Hickey, yeah. That's before me though. Before I paid attention, so I can't really comment. But he built the sack exchange, right? Right, Paris? Fierce Grim, let's kick Denver's ash. That's right. Fierce Grim, member for 2 months of the Talking Jets OnlyFans. Right on, dude. Right on, man. So before we bounce, Finnegan, you want to hop on, say hello? Yeah. All right, let's say hello to Finnegan so you guys remember what he looks like and everything. Here he comes. Look at this guy. What's up, man?
How's it going?
How you feeling about Zach?
Cautiously optimistic.
Well said.
I mean,
very nice way to put it.
I'm never going to go into a game expecting what he did against the Chiefs, but I hope he does. I hope I'm wrong. Like,
well, you know
I'd
what?
love
Finnegan,
to be completely wrong about him.
I would love it.
Yeah,
I would love it, man. Look, I mean, the thing is this, like, we have anybody who's like out on Zach Wilson, you have plenty of data to support that opinion, right? Plenty. And so it's not like, you're just half cocked going off and saying some shit. Dude, we have rooted for him so many times and we just, he just fails. But if he can get it together and look like he did, we might have something. You know what I mean? And it's tough, man, because I'm so tired of buying in. But if he can stack a few games, it's nice that we're going against the Broncos right now because it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Their defense is struggling, so it's an opportunity. Now let's see how we can do. If he struggles against this team, then there's a problem. You know what I mean? But it's an opportunity. Like it's nice to see him like have that little buffer before he goes against Philly, because Philly's gonna send the heat, man. I mean, Philly's no joke. They're 4-0. They don't look quite as dominant as they did last year at this time, but they're still 4-0 and their defense is still a problem. So, it's nice that he doesn't have to go right out of this game into them because that's an equalizer. All right, bring you back down to earth kind of a thing. The Broncos, he can build some confidence if he just settles down, plays smart, confident, I
can't remember there was one beat writer that said, like, because obviously they're in the locker room doing interviews and stuff, and he said there's a different level of like swagger now with Zach and the whole team that they just went toe to toe with the defending champs. That everybody feels now like, we have a team. I think CJ Uzama said we're a playoff team.
Damn straight.
So,
but you see it though, right? It's like, like you look at the Jeremy Ruckerts and the, everybody, Garrett Wilson. Like, dude, we have young, legitimate talent all over this place. The offensive line is settling in, and if they can continue with Tippmann and ABT over there on the right and Becton, if they can continue to gel as this version, this unit for the season and give Zach that time and he can really trust them and then have that confidence to let the ball go. That's been Zach's biggest thing. Like you can see it. That just like he's afraid, like he's open now. You wait an extra second and then throw it and it gives everybody a chance to get there. It's a whole thing. If he can just do like the greatest example is that Alan Lazard touchdown, man. Like again, one split second later, and that's not a touchdown. That was tight. But it's like, that confidence, man. That's what it's all about.
And too, the fact that he threw it back shoulder, so Lazard didn't get crushed on the play. Like he could have got with the hospital ball. Like he puts that in front of him. Like it's either getting picked off or Lazard's getting crushed over the middle.
Yeah, and you know what, man? That pass to Ruckert, gorgeous, and a great catch, by the way. I mean, it's beautiful. So. I don't know, man. I want Zach to fucking be great, dude. You know what I mean? Look, I just call it like I see it. When he sucks, I say he suck. That he's sucking. And when he's good, I'm saying that he's good. You know what I mean? So that's where we are. I think I don't know too many fans that would be unhappy if Zach wins. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, would you be right? It's like, is there anybody in the chat that hates Zach so much that if he starts winning and looking good, you'd be upset? Does that exist here? I don't know. I don't think so. So, all right, Chris Donardo. Hello, Chris. Good to see you, buddy. Anyway, I want to remind you guys, I put the Testosil link up there. Don't forget, if you're looking for a testosterone booster, you might as well save $10 and get a free bottle. It's right there. And if you don't like the product, full, no questions asked, money back guarantee. Testosil, everybody. Use the promo code GreenBean. The link should take you right to it. But if you go there organically, throw the promo code GreenBean. And I will also remind you about Liquid IV. Oh, I said I was going to give this away. I'll give it away next week. Dude, energy multiplier. Hydration multiplier. Save 15% using the promo code GreenBean Jetsfan. The link is in the description. I mean, this shit is everywhere, man. It's everywhere I go, I see Liquid IV now, and it ain't cheap. So it's the good stuff. If you want the good stuff and you want to pay the bad stuff price, use the promo code GreenBean. It's the best shit out there. So, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. We're going to end a few minutes early tonight. I'm super tired. And yeah, hey, we're going to go into Denver. Don't forget about the live stream right here on Talking Jets. We'll probably kick it off somewhere around 4:00 for the 4:25 game against the Denver Broncos, where we have an opportunity, everybody. We have an opportunity to stack some game. Let's see if Zach can stack. That's the question now. That's really where we are. Can Zach stack? So, Jeremy, you got anything coming up you want to let anybody know about?
Just that. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I think we have an opportunity, just like you said, to stack some good games in a row, offensively get some more confidence. I'm excited.
Wait, what are you talking about, Benny? I don't see every comment, buddy.
Somebody said something that was probably inappropriate to him.
All right. Well, we got to ban people. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry, Benny, but generally speaking, we're talking about a chat, so just fucking block them. Well, I don't know. I'd have to go through it and see who it is. I'm sorry. I missed it. I don't see every comment. I wasn't ignoring it.
I see it.
So, I don't
it's
ignore
impossible
it.
to see it all.
Reporting this
channel. You could block any individual person just by going to the right dots on the top corner.
Benny, you're going to report the channel because someone chatted? I mean, I don't know. Okay. Well, sorry. Honestly, sincerely, again, we don't see every comment. There are hundreds and we scan and I pick shit and I missed it. So it's not like I purposely ignored it or anything. I'm sorry you got attacked, but just block them. You don't have to see that shit. There's all kinds of stuff. So with that said, everybody, I hope you have a good night. I hope nothing was said in here that made you feel bad or anything like that. It's never the intention, right? We just want to root for the Jets. We try to keep all the bullshit out as best we can.
Yeah.
But that all said, guys, have a great night. And we'll see you next time. There you go. See you on Sunday, everybody.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
You want to run or you want to duck down? You want to duck, just go over there and get onto the bench and stay there. You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.